Yeah, g'day, I'm Scott. Yeah, just thought I'd show you a little bit more of my little BTD 6. Just finished restoring it, well, probably about 6 months ago. It's just got 50 hours on it now. It's the custom hydraulics. Took these rams off of a BTD 8 and towers. Had to be fully modified like everything else. What else? This is probably one of my favourite little features here. It comes down to these insane push arms that had to be custom made. Well, this tower here anyway. Yeah, it wasn't a lot of fun. So I used the lift rams off the old tool blade that I had, which was, I don't know, I had to do something with these little rams. So I whacked them on here, on both sides. This little mount point here is actually a 3-point linkage replacement ball for a tractor. But yeah, it does the job great. It worked pretty good, so I actually allowed the cost of putting one of these little 12-volt solenoids in there. And that way, just from a flick of the switch in the cab here, I can tilt, angle, roll it back. Yeah, it works really good. Obviously can't angle, sorry. This is a little bucket attachment I made for it. That is probably the handiest thing I've ever built. I thought it was a pretty stupid idea when I built it, but to tell you the truth, I hardly ever take it off. It is great for moving stuff around. The other things I've done with this thing, because I just got annoyed chasing second-hand parts, which were usually rubbish, is I've actually modified all the undercarriage to be Caterpillar gear. As you can see, there's your Caterpillar D3 idler there. It's got Caterpillar tracks on it, all Caterpillar load rollers. The rear sprocket, obviously, has got a Caterpillar re-ring on it. The only thing that I've used out of the International is these little carry rollers up the top here. Other than that, yeah, she's all Caterpillar undercarriage. Well, built this nice little sort of roll cage props for it. I don't really want to try it out though, but I think it'd probably be good for one hit. I'm not really sure. But just to try and stiffen her up a bit, yeah, I put this little strengthening bar across, and there's quite a few things in here that actually make this cab pretty strong. Also, mounted it on rubber. It takes a lot of the vibration out of it actually, it works really well. What else we got here? Well, lots of hydraulics. It was a real pain in the ass, but it's got to be done because the old hydraulics on these things were just completely useless. So now it's got a front driven pump, which is a bit sad, but when I get around to it I'll fix her up. It's only got 50 hours on it. I'm still trying to get all the bugs out. You see, you probably can't see it very well, but I've actually fitted breathers to these final drives. Now they take 10 litres of oil instead of the 2.5. What else? I've also modified the seals in there, but obviously you're not going to see them, but runs lip seals and uses the bellow seals now just as dust covers really. Okay, we'll have a look at some other gear. This little beauty here is actually a fuel sender out of a boat. Well, marine fuel sender. It worked really well. Just drop it in there. Obviously got to cut it in and all that, but no more dipping the stick, which is, don't know, yeah, you end up with all sorts of crap in there like bark, dirt. So I had to wash this fuel tank out when I rebuilt it, got everything sandblasted, and the amount of stuff I found there was insane. Rightio, I'll show you some other stuff on it, eh? The other little things I did to it was made all my own panels. This is 5mm plate steel, because the original bonnet was just completely destroyed. It's laying up there, rusted away somewhere. I think I've run it over several times. I've also got some dress panels that go on the side here for when I take it to shows and stuff, but at the moment I haven't, well, it's been really dry around here. I haven't got the water to spare to actually wash it, which is a bit of a shame. But sooner or later it will rain, I will wash it, and everyone will be happy. Don't know, I just don't think some people would be happy if I told them, oh, you just can't have a shower because I washed the Dozer. But I don't know, maybe it's worth it. Right, now there's some more on the hydraulics here to the front mounted pump, which you can't really see because it lives behind this bulge. I will admit it was a really stressful build. I had to chase parts all the way from England, all over the place. I got parts from America. A lot of it's actually custom made, like this fuel tank, oh sorry, hydraulic tank, all this sort of stuff. All these well, this tower here, these arms are heavily modified. I don't know if you're familiar with the original toolbar arms that are on these, but yeah, they're completely different. And these little things here, which is reversible balls, which all had to be adapted into this. BTD 8 rams. Yeah, a lot of work, a lot of sleepless nights, and sometimes you just wonder if it's worth it. But when you start doing your own sort of little earthworks around home, I've cut tracks, I've done all sorts of things with it now. I'm a hopeless operator, but I'm slowly getting better at it. Rightio, so this is under the seat here. Obviously all custom made battery box and all that sort of stuff. But these here, as I said before, the final drives on these originally didn't have breathers. So I've made up these little surge tanks that hopefully, you know, allow for the expansion of the oil and all that sort of stuff. It just gives the pressure somewhere to go instead of just blowing out your seals all the time like these things used to. Fitted it all up with marine VDO gauges. Got my little hour meter there. Just so when people ask me, oh, can I borrow your Dozer? It's like, yeah, as soon as that hour meter starts, it's costing you money. Because believe me, a lot of people will start asking you when you've got one of these. Rightio, moving on. What I will say though is, yeah, it's come up as a nice little machine. It's actually better than I expected. To tell the truth, is it worth it? Restoring one of these? Oh, really depends. I fell into the classic trap of thinking, yeah, I'll buy this machine cheap, you know, just do a few little things to it and, you know, save myself some money. But yeah, reality is I could have actually bought a much better machine for the money I've spent on this. But once you start, sort of, well, what do? You know, do you call up Sims Metal and get them towed away for scrap? And then it's just a total loss of everything that you've already put into it. And I don't know, I just couldn't walk away from it. But I'm pretty happy with the end result. I couldn't say it was worth it, but I don't know, I guess I'll just have to keep this thing for the rest of my life now, because I'll never be able to sell it for what I actually spent on it. Too easy.